Hey guys and ladies, welcome back. My name is Scott and this is another My Bourbon Journey review. So if you're new to this channel and you're looking for different whiskey reviews of maybe some bourbons and ryes, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button. So today I've got a very interesting product from MERICA Bourbon. They produce this bourbon. Now, I should back up a little bit. It is an MGP sourced bourbon. However, there's a little bit of a back history to that, and I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But first and foremost, this is a veteran-owned company that was started by Derek Sison, who is the obviously owner and founder CEO of the company. So in addition to that, he's a former Marine. The employees or even co-owners are all or mostly former, military or veterans. So first, I guess I have to say thank you very much for your service. That's first and foremost. So without you guys, we don't have the ability to do these videos and enjoy, fantastic products like we do. So again, thank you very much for your service. So a little bit of information with this. So like I said before, it is an MGP sourced bourbon. So from there, once it's done doing what it does there, now again, it says that this is aged a minimum of 6 months. So I know for a lot of people, they may not even mess around or touch anything that has or says anything like that, but you'll have to continue to watch the video to kind of find out a little bit more information on this. So again, it's sourced from MGP. Here's the interesting part. So they send this off to South Carolina, and it goes through a process called TerraPURE. And if you want to find out a little bit more information regarding that and that process, there was an interview that the guys over at Bourbon Pursuit did not long ago of the owner or co-owner of the company and kind of details a little bit of this process. So I don't know all the details. I'm just going to kind of give the Cliff Note version of that. So and then we'll kind of get into the normal review. But the interesting part again is it goes from MGP off to the company in South Carolina, where it then goes through the TerraPURE process, meaning there are these electronic waves that I believe get sent through the barrels to essentially speed up the process. Now, the purist probably would want nothing to do with that. However, as you'll see later on in the review, it's a very unique process, and I was a little shocked as to kind of the taste and all of that of it in a good way. So, I'll have the link to a few things in the description below. So if you want to check out a few of those things, go ahead and do so. But I'll go over a little bit of the detail now regarding this bourbon specifically. The mash bill is a little bit different. So the mash bill on this was 70% corn, 26% rye, and 4% wheat. So they've eliminated the malted barley completely based on this mash bill. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and we'll get into the review. And like normal, what I like to try to do is we'll go through the appearance, we'll go through the nosing, the taste, and then the finish, and kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the review. Now, the other night I was able to take a few notes prior. So we'll kind of, go off of what I'm tasting or smelling today, in addition to the notes I had the other night. So as you can see, kind of a nice, kind of a light, honey type of color to that. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the nose. So you get a little bit of the youth right away, a little bit of the grain, a little bit of the kind of the corn, but you get this nice kind of sweetness also. Kind of a cherry or a chocolate covered cherry kind of comes through. A little bit of the cinnamon, kind of a light butterscotch. So a fairly pleasant nose for something that technically has, we'll just call it 6 months of aging. So it's a very nice nose for the youth part of it. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the taste. Cheers. So immediately you get hit with nice cinnamon, kind of a nice cinnamon, brown sugar, a little bit of heat. You know, at 90 proof, there's actually kind of a nice heat to that. Nothing that's overly long, nothing that's a big burn, anything like that. Just a, you know, really nice and comfortable. Something you'd like from a good bourbon. Flavor-wise, you also get a little bit of kind of a lemon zest. There's that sweetness, the brown sugar. That little bit of kind of a tobacco type of note to it. So lots of different kind of flavor profiles with something like this. So very good bourbon, again, for something that indicates that its age is a minimum of 6 months. So, and I know, like I said before, that may scare a lot of people, but with this and that process that it goes through, this is fantastic. The process that I also learned that was, with this being basically aged a minimum of 6 months, they indicate that the process that this bourbon runs through takes that young bourbon and makes it equivalent to, I believe they said, a 4 or 5 year aged bourbon. Now, had I not known all of that prior and tasting this, I would say there was no way that this is around the 6 month or even the 1 year mark. That it probably was closer to that now 3-4 year range, where you're starting to get away from the really super grain forward, you know, heavy corn, lots of burn, ethanol, things along those lines. This really has none of that. They've done a fantastic job. You know, it's a unique process, and again, the purists, you know, may look at it and want nothing to do with it. But I would say for sure, if you can get this or order it and give it a try, I would highly recommend it. I think it's got, you know, great flavor. You know, there's that sweetness, there's the tartness that's in it. Then you kind of get that finish with the leathery notes. It's not a super long finish, you know, maybe in the short, medium range, but a great bourbon. I think this is even something that would hold up, you know, fairly well in cocktails. Now, it is 90 proof, so, you know, there's plenty of proof and alcohol there to hold up in the cocktails. But again, through that whole process that this is, it in of itself it's very unique. So, you know, again, if it's something you can find or it's intriguing enough for you to order, I'd highly recommend you do, just to even give it a try. I mean, I think they've done a really good job, you know, with this. And again, it doesn't get much more American, you know, than this. Bourbon and military, you know, two things that, you know, are American as it gets. So, you know, they've done a very interesting job with it. So again, this is, I'll kind of go over a little bit of the specs. MERICA, MERICA Bourbon, 90 proof, sourced from MGP, sent off to, I think it's OZ or OZ Tyler, out in South Carolina, to again run through the TerraPURE process. So I'll have some links in the description below to kind of, you know, show a little bit more about that process and the company. So again, I would highly recommend this, and if nothing else, you know, it supports, you know, these guys. So, you know, that's a great thing as well. So, you know, go ahead and check them out. So, you know, with that being said, you know, leave me some comments. If anybody's had this or is familiar, I'd love for you to, you know, give me your feedback. You know, give me a thumbs up. All of that helps. You know, check out my Patreon account. I've got that set up. But, you know, really, you know, I love doing the reviews. Hopefully everybody gets a little something. You know, I try to mix it up a little bit now and then, do some different things. So, you know, with that being said, you know, again, I appreciate everybody checking out the reviews. So again, MERICA Bourbon, go check them out, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.